My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. What I have here is the Mountainsmith Morrison 2-person tent. This happens to be the best-selling backpacking tent on Amazon at the time of filming. In this episode, this is a before you buy. What does that mean? This is all about the setup process. Knowing the setup process of a tent is vital information. It's important to know whether or not the setup process of a shelter is complex or easy, because that will have major impacts on your use of that product in the field. In this episode, I'm going over it step by step. By the way, everyone, if you want to support this channel, go ahead and hit the thumbs up right now because it helps the channel a lot. The Outdoor Gear Review is agenda-free, and hitting the like button and supporting the channel helps it stay that way. The first thing that I want you all to do is to separate the components. So this is what is included, everyone. You have a mesh gear caddy, tent poles, tent stakes, you have the fly, and you also have the body. With the components laid out, go ahead and take the fly, move that to the side. You can do the same with the tent poles and the tent stakes. You can also put the gear caddy in the storage bag to the side as well. Go ahead, grab the body, and unfold it. If it's a breezy day, you can go ahead and loosely stake out the corners for the tent. If it's not, go ahead and move on to the poles. There are 2 poles, and they are color-coded. You have 1 silver pole, 1 orange pole. Go ahead and put the poles together. When you have the poles together, place them over the top of the tent and line up the orange straps with the orange pole and the gray straps with the silver pole. Start at either end of the tent, insert the poles into the grommets, starting with the grommet furthest from the tent. Now go to the other side of the tent and repeat the same process. Again, connecting the poles and the grommets furthest from the tent. From here, you can begin connecting the body. Now folks, take a look at this last connector. This goes over both poles, just like so. Now is a great time to grab your tent stakes and begin staking out the tent. Go around the body, pull the body nice and taut in each of the corners. As you all can see, the tent has a high profile. That means that it will be susceptible to wind, and that is why I recommend staking it out. An added benefit to staking out the tent body is that you maximize the space inside of the tent. Now everyone, it's time to move on to the rain fly. Just as the poles were color-coded, so is the rain fly. Orange to orange, gray to gray. Once you have the fly over the body, then you need to attach the fly to the poles. You could skip this step in fair weather, but if there's a chance of storms and wind, go ahead and attach them. Once you have the fly attached to the poles, then you can clip in the corners with the corresponding buckles. Don't worry about pulling the fly tight at this time, we will do that last. Go ahead, grab some tent stakes, stake out both doors and also the front and the back of the tent. Now everyone, we're getting to the end of the setup process. Go ahead, go to the corners and tighten the fly. All you have left to do now, folks, is open up the vents, tie off the guy lines if you need them, and you can insert the gear caddy if you want to. All in all, that is a very simple process. To set up this tent, it takes roughly 5 to 10 minutes. The more experience you have, the faster it will go. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the hardest to set up, 10 being the easiest, this is a good 8. There's nothing here as far as the setup process goes that's going to give you any real trouble, with the exception of one thing. One very important thing. When it comes to the stakeoff points, they are non-adjustable. So on a flat surface like this, on level ground, no big deal. But if you're setting this up at a campsite where the ground's not completely level, you may have some issues getting the right pitch. Because of that, I would highly recommend attaching some guy lines to the stakeoff points for the doors and especially for the sides. Having that adjustability will give you the best airflow with this tent and also the best setup. My friends, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. That is the Morrison 2 and the setup process. Let's say that a storm was coming in and you had to set this up real quick, you could easily do so. There's nothing here that's really going to stand in your way. The overall design, the functionality of this tent is just like any other tent out on the market. So if you have any experience setting up tents, you will have no problems with this one here. This has been part 2 of the Mountainsmith Morrison series. Again, everyone, this is the best-selling tent on Amazon. The best-selling. In part 3 of this series, we will put this tent to the test. How does it handle heavy rain? How does it handle condensation, airflow, moisture control, and so on. Make sure to comment down below, everyone. What do you all think about this tent? How do you think it's going to handle a lot of rain? I have no idea either. But I do know this. I can't wait to find out. Guys, gals, I appreciate you. Everyone take care. Be well. Strength and honor. See you soon.